Today we are going to talk about the wild weekend in quarterback transfers, including Tate Martell and Jalen Hurts, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kidfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we're going to talk about the wild weekend and quarterback transfers in the portal, making visits, and where things stand as of today. Now, everything is in flux. So when you're watching this particular upload, could be in date, could be out of date. But what I'm going to try to do is just recap the weekend that was in quarterback transfer. So we know that Jalen Hurts, Austin Kendall, and Tate Martell made headlines by each deciding, you know what? I think I want to go play college football elsewhere for a number of reasons. But the number one reason is they are not sure they are going to be the starting quarterback at the universities for which they are enrolled today. Now, as of Friday, Jalen Hurts was reportedly down to three options. Maryland, where the offensive coordinator at Alabama just became the head coach, Mike Locksley. Miami, where the quarterbacks coach at Alabama just became the offensive coordinator. And Oklahoma, where Lincoln Riley has put the last two quarterbacks that played at Oklahoma on the Heisman podium. Seen one drafted number 1 overall in football, one drafted number 9 overall in baseball, and right now has both the NFL and Major League Baseball by the short and curlies. And if you want to develop into what the NFL thinks is a capable quarterback in today's modern pro football, there is not a better place to go than Oklahoma. I think this is not even a secret. It's not even up for debate. You're watching what Lincoln Riley has been able to do with Baker Mayfield, with Kyler Murray, and you bet on him. You bet on the scheme. You bet on the tools you have around him. And that's the other thing. Outside of losing 4 starting offensive linemen, Oklahoma gets back everybody that it needs. CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver, Charleston Rambo at wide receiver. We know that the slot is going to be nice and filthy. Grant Calcaterra is going to be there. You know, Kennedy Brooks and Trey Sermon are going to be in the backfield that gets reloaded. It's just a nice place to be, especially with blowing up the defense with a new coordinator, bringing in some new position coaches, and putting out a defense for which everybody is going to have an opportunity to make plays, one gap scheme, all of those things. It's very attractive to be at Oklahoma, if for no other reason than you look at the end result. Big 12 championships and playing in the college football playoff. And a guy like Jalen Hurts has to know that he brings maturity as well as experience, as well as a national championship ring and a 26-2 record as a starter to Norman should he choose to go there. Now, you look at Maryland, the thing that they have going for them is rapport. He knows what kind of offense Mike Locksley wants to run. He knows what his job is in it as quarterback, and he knows what he would know basically everywhere he would go is he's going to be the guy. Now, Maryland is still Maryland, where their signature win was Texas. And yeah, they pushed Ohio State to the brink, but now you've blown that up, which I was sad about that because Matt Canada was doing a pretty good job. But Mike Locksley, I don't necessarily think that dude is the guy to be head coach. Remember, that guy went 3-31 the last time he was a head coach, right? And got fired for the wrong reasons to get fired, which is, right reason is losing games. But you don't want to get fired for stuff that is totally within your control. So you're not really sure. And then you look at Miami, where you got a guy like Manny Diaz, who was the head coach at Temple for all of 17 days before he went back to Miami, blew up the staff, and then brought in Dan Enos from Alabama. That's a smart hire if you're Manny Diaz. I was surprised to hear that he pulled that off just like everybody else because you thought Enos was next in line to be the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Now that looks like it could be Steve Sarkisian. We'll have to wait and see. But Dan Enos would have to know quite a bit about Jalen Hurts' game, have to know quite a bit about what Jalen Hurts wants to do, but also he was calling plays that didn't necessarily put Jalen Hurts in the position to throw the ball down the field and or air raid schemes, and a lot of the stuff was predicated on him rolling out of the pocket and doing stuff he already knows how to do. But more to the point, for those folks that don't think that Jalen Hurts can throw an accurate football or even an accurate deep ball, come on, man. How do you think you get to this level? You think you get to Alabama by not being able to throw the ball all around the yard? No, you don't. But I guess that's the thing. You come to Oklahoma, you can prove all of those idiots that they're wrong, right? And that you were right all along. And Dan Enos would have to sell him on the future of him at Miami with the defense that Manny Diaz would be running and calling, I'm sure, and with the assets that they have. Jeff Thomas might return, but I would not bet on it if I was Jalen Hurts. However, the pictures that made it onto several Twitter profiles, profiles, that's what we call those things, timelines, that's what I was going, made it onto several timelines, showed that Jalen Hurts was having a good time eating steak, and I think he was drinking Shirley Temple. I don't know what to do with that, except to say Shirley Temple, maybe it's good. Never had it. I've never envisioned Jalen Hurts as being the kind of guy that might drink Shirley Temple, but shame on me for limiting that man and all the things that he's capable of doing, like perhaps going to Oklahoma, being the third straight Heisman winner, and drinking a Shirley Temple. We'll just have to wait and see. But you're looking at this in the way that it's just kind of laid out to the naked eye, which is yours, which is mine, not knowing the conversations that he had at Maryland, at Oklahoma, and at Miami in a whirlwind weekend. And you got to believe Oklahoma's the place to go. Just because the assets are there, you know you're going to be the guy. Lincoln Riley's going to make sure that you have your opportunity to play. Austin Kendall is transferring away, reportedly in talks with Duke, also reportedly in talks with TCU, according to Brandon Drum at 24/7 Sports. Have to wait and see. Don't know that that dude made any visits this weekend. Doesn't mean that he didn't. Just means that those weren't ones that were covered by those of us that covered them. And yes, I was trying to figure it out. Couldn't necessarily nail anything down that I was comfortable reporting. Which leads me to the Tate Martell bit. Tate Martell is interested in West Virginia and Miami. And he won't be eligible to play until 2020, so that's why Miami's still in play. And yes, after this year, Jalen Hurts is gone. So it would line up to where you could see a world where you have both Jalen Hurts and Tate Martell on the same Miami football team. And N'Kosi Perry is just kind of standing there holding the bag, waiting to transfer away and redo this whole transfer carousel thing once again. However, Tate Martell is also in the running for the West Virginia quarterback job if he decides to transfer there, which is highly entertaining because Tate Martell in the Big 12 Conference, I would love to see that. But also, they ain't really got much at quarterback at West Virginia right now. I mean, Jack Allison just ain't the dude. And not only is he not the dude, he was so much not the dude that Dana Holgorsen decided, yeah, I'll take the job at Houston. And then you looked around and you saw Trey Lowe was recruited by Jake Spavital, who was the head coach at Texas State now. So it feels like Tate Martell would be the guy in 2020 unless Neil Brown pulled a rabbit out of a hat. He could, just don't see it. It's West Virginia. And being that Tate Martell was teammates with Bubba Bolden, who Manny Diaz managed to steal away from USC to Miami, you could totally see the Bishop Gorman kids getting back together, putting the band back together, getting the turnover chain out, having a fun time around South Beach, Dade County, whatever it is the kids do down there, and trying to reignite this, the U. U's been dead for a little bit. Turnover chain brought it back for just a second. Then Mark Richt just all of a sudden forgot how to coach quarterbacks, which was his calling card, which is probably why he retired. But this is all highly entertaining. Can't wait to see how this figures. That's it for me. Doses.